Welcome to the Poisoner's Cabinet. I'm Sinead.
And I'm Nick.
And this is your weekly podcast exploring the lives of the great poisoners, macabre murders, and captivating crimes from across the centuries, and creating curious cocktails inspired by the tales that we tell. And it's episode 222.
Yes, it is.
222.
222.
222.
Yes.
That too.
Yes.
Yes. How are you, Nick?
I'm okay.
You're very well, are you?
I'm just here.
You're okay. You're here. You're alive.
I'm alive.
You're there.
I'm almost on holiday.
Almost on holiday.
So close.
Me and Nick go
So
away on
close.
holiday next week with a couple of friends of the podcast. Dear Emma and Ro are coming with us. And we're going to have some exciting content to bring you.
Such adventures.
Yes, we are going somewhere very special next week. A place that has been requested probably more times than any other place since we've started this podcast.
The pub!
To the tequila farm.
To the tequila factories.
To the gin parlour. So many people have sent us pictures, sent us messages going, have you ever thought about going to this place in England? I'm not going to say where it is, but we're going somewhere very special next week, and we should be able to bring you some very fun content from there. But for now, we're here.
Now we're here.
We're right here in Nick's flat.
It's very exciting.
You're all right, though. Any poisonings this week?
I've been too busy.
Too busy?
Too busy to notice.
What have you been doing?
Well, I've got stuff to do, so away for a week. I've got stuff to prepare. Stuff to sort out. Work shit going on.
Shit. Sorry, I thought you meant around the flat. I was like,
Yes.
I've got doilies to iron.
Exactly. I've got doilies to prepare for the going away. I need to
got sheets
organise
to
my
stew.
condiments.
Just pack all the condiments in case they don't
Exactly.
have them slightly north of where we are. Yeah.
I'm going through my fridge going, ooh, that bacon needs an eating.
Oh, it does?
So am I going to eat 10 rashers between now when I go away?
Yeah.
Or should I take it with me?
No, you're going to eat 10
I
rashers.
could probably eat 10 rashers.
Make a carbonara
I'll just make a big pile of sandwiches.
and then make a big, or just make a massive
a
bacon
massive
sandwich.
pile of
Oh, no,
sandwiches.
that's a good sandwich. Can I have a sandwich?
Yeah.
Actually, I like bacon. Can I have some?
Yeah. You can
Oh, we'll absolutely go crazy on bacon sandwiches after
Excellent.
this. Get
Sorted.
drunk on bacon. Well,
Anyway.
speaking of eating vast amounts of bacon and then running away, I think it is time for us to thank our delicious Patreon subscribers.
Absolutely all the bacon for you. To Stells.
To Gemma Twells.
And to Gail.
You sexy
Darling
Patreon
people.
subscribers. Thank you so much. We had fun on Patreon this week. We discussed some haunted venues. And because it's October, we are in the haunted venue territory over on Patreon. Maybe it'll bleed into the main episode.
Maybe.
One day. But this one, it was haunted film sets.
Haunted film sets.
So we talked about cursed films.
Nice.
And there's a lot of them. Cursed films and people who have allegedly died on set and things that you can see in films.
Much
It's very good.
spookiness indeed.
Yes, much spookiness because 'tis spooky season. If you want to know what the hell we're talking about and get extra spooky content this month, please head over to patreon.com/The Poisoner's Cabinet, where you can get extra episodes from us every single week, as well as lots of bonus content as a subscriber. It's a wonderful place with lovely people.
Yes.
We also have a shout out this week.
Ooh.
We have a shout out to Jen from your bestie, Amelie Rosalind. It could be Rosaline. Amelie, beautiful Amelie, sent through a message. She wanted to say hi to Jen. Jen, we know you've had a bit of a hard time lately. You've been going through a few things, and your best friend wanted you to know that she loves you. She knows you love this podcast. She loves this podcast, and we are very, very happy to give you a big old shout out during what's probably been a bit of a rough time for you. But we are here, and we will be here for a while, and we are very happy to say hi to you. And Amelie also says she's very sorry that she told you in depth about the new episode before it came out, because she was very excited because it was about Ludwig II. Yeah, so there
Fair
we
enough.
are.
Yes. Don't do that. Don't reveal the episodes.
Well, I mean, some of our fans do. They just go, you have to listen to the Poisonous Cabinet because it's all about Ludwig II, and also he was a bit crazy, and also Bill Casas. Emily
Bill
and
Casas.
Jen, we hope you are having a lovely week, month, year of your lives. Everything will get better because it has to, because we said
'Cause it
so.
does.
And we love you very, very much. Well, Nick, are you ready
Oh, go on then.
to drink cocktails and talk about poison?
Okay.
Oh, we can drink poison and talk about cocktails.
Yeah, whatever.
Shall we go with the first one?
Just make it end.
Oh, good. Hooray. It is Nick's story this week, but we can't possibly have a story without a cocktail in hand. As you know, dear listeners, every week we choose a secret ingredient that is inspired by the tale that we tell, and it will flavour our cocktail of the week. Nick, Your story, so your pick.
Yes.
And this week's secret ingredient is...
The constellations.
The constellations.
Constellations.
I think I put a constellation, but it's the many...
It could be any or either or.
The stars.
The stars.
The stars and the many shapes in the sky that make no sense to what they are supposed to be.
But okay, let's go with it.
It's a horse, it's a square. There's a Ryan. The most important thing is he has a belt.
Yes.
Okay, his fashion was a thing. Yeah. Is it a sword? No, it's just a belt.
Just about.
The constellations. We love the night sky. Many people had theories on this, and it's incredible because you were wrestling between two episodes.
People have guessed a couple of things.
Yeah.
Both, of which as you know, I was wrestling between. So.
Yes. And weirdly, this ingredient could have been either of those.
Could have been for both, yeah.
It could have been either of those. So I didn't know. I wasn't sure because you did sort of say to me, going, I don't know which one I'm going to do. Both good for Spooky Month. Very good. Big stories. And the other one will be done.
Oh, yeah, indeed.
But yes, we must find out what it is. But with the constellations, the many, what have you come up with?
We are having this evening
okay.
a starry night.
Oh, lovely. Oh, Van Gogh.
Van
Gogh, one of my favourite paintings of all time.
Indeed.
Yeah, Starry Night. It's not
Starry
really
Night.
a constellation though, is it, actually, technically? It's just a bit of a star, isn't it?
Some stars in the sky, of which there are constellations.
I guess. Yeah, actually, a Starry Night, you would go out and go, let us look at all the constellations.
That's one thing we'll be doing when we go away.
We will.
It's in a dark area zone thing.
Is it dark skies?
Yes, a dark skies place. And there's a big observatory nearby as well. And
which we're going to break into.
What do they do like night times? Come and look at the moon.
Can we go?
I think so. I think you can book things.
Why didn't you tell us? Let's book it.
Okay.
I love the night sky. I love the constellations.
So,
I have a telescope I've not used.
So I'm going to go and lie in the garden and go, oh, look.
I am definitely doing that. We go, oh my God, I've got the apps. I'm so excited. Oh, okay. I'm very excited. Also, I will be lying doing the Simpsons joke the entire time going, I want to know all the constellations. Well, that's Alan the cowboy. But, okay, a starry night. Intriguing, delightful, dark, mysterious. I think it is high time for us to glide into the poisoner's cabinet kitchen and shake up a storm. So we'll see you in a minute.
We'll see you in a minute.
And we're back.
Hello.
So, Nick, the starry night.
Starry night.
Now, it's very pale.
It's crystal clear, like a starry night.
Well, a clear night, yes, but I wanted more blue and stars. Diamonds.
Add some lovely curacao.
What?
Some lovely blue curacao.
Oh, the blue. Yeah, exactly. Oh, maybe there would be blue curacao in there, but there's not. It's just...
You can make a nice little purpley thing going on there.
That could have been that. Well, maybe in future you can do a little variation of it. But very clear, very pretty, very cute looking. I don't know. What's in it?
Stuff.
What could it be?
Stuff and things.
Okay, so I'm just lifting this up. I should actually point out we are recording this for the first time, I think, on the main episode on the sofas.
It's weird.
Because we're trying to be cool and sophisticated and laid back, and it's quite relaxing, but it's very hard to move.
It's very hard to move.
Because there's so much equipment around each of us.
I'm covered in wires. And
No, okay. Right, so it smells nice. Oh, it's quite floral. Okay, interesting. All right, well, let us dive into the Starry Night. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Okay.
Ooh.
No. I'm not sure. Okay. You can do that all you like. It's got layers.
Curious.
It's curious.
I don't dislike it. You obviously do.
Do I dislike it enough to not drink it now I'm settled into this prison that I'm in on the sofa? I don't know. But, it's got something really floral behind it. Mm-hmm. But then it's also got quite an acrid taste. A sour taste. Not bitter, sour.
No, I'm not getting that.
I don't know.
Possibly I've also just had a mouthful of chocolate. Which may not have helped.
You need to stop doing that.
But I wanted chocolate.
Second sip, it's not so bad. There's something disagreeable in there.
Oh, I quite find that.
I don't think it's twiggy. You've not put twigs in this?
Hundreds of twigs in there.
Hundreds of twigs.
Hundreds of twigs.
Is there any chartreuse in this?
No.
Great. Okay, good. I didn't think there was chartreuse. What is that? Okay, is that...
Are you picking up your retinol chin cream?
I'm just licking my own chin.
Exactly, as it goes in.
Yeah, that and the carnage that's left. No. Is it like a lychee syrup? No. It's not a lychee syrup. Is it a flower? Like an elderflower?
No.
Is it a flower?
No,
floral?
no.
Am I wrong with the floral?
You're wrong. Well...
Jesus Christ.
There are definitely floral tones,
Right.
I would say.
Do any of them relate to flowers?
Ish.
Is it a fruit that flowers?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Blossom. Blossom?
Blossom, yes, it's got some blossom in
It got
there.
to blossom. Okay, cherry blossom, apple blossom, apple... It's not orange. Is it triple sec?
It's not triple sec.
No. Maraschino.
Yep.
Is it maraschino?
It's maraschino.
Oh, it's cherry.
It's cherry, yeah.
Right, cherry. There we...
Fruity floral.
Is there pear in that?
There is pear in that.
I'm a genius. Okay, so pear and cherries.
Pear and
beautiful. Beautiful.
Pear cherry.
Make a tart. What's ruining it?
You.
Me. What's the base spirit there? Gin?
Yep.
Rum?
Yep.
It's a clear. Tequila. What are all the other clear spirit? Vodka.
Yep.
Shut up. What? What are the other clear spirits? Oh, cachaça? Like the sugary.
Nope.
But is there a vermouth in this?
Nope.
There's nothing winey. Okay.
Ooh.
What? Is there wine in this?
There we go.
Is that why you needed white wine?
That's why I needed
earlier?
to buy a bottle of wine.
Oh, because you were walking around the thing, I need wine. And then you went, because I need some wine to drink. And then I was like, oh, fuck, that's the secret ingredient, isn't it? Or so that's an ingredient to the cocktail.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, there's wine in this. That's why I don't like it.
Because you hate wine.
I like wine on its own. White wine in cocktails, I just don't like it. It's not that good. I don't like them. But what else?
Nothing.
That's it. That's not a spirit. That's a wine.
That's 3 things.
3 things. So white wine.
Yep.
Maraschino and pear.
Yep.
That should work, but it's only okay.
It's gone better for the worst thing you've ever drunk to okay. So it's improved already.
I did not say it was the worst thing I'd ever drunk. I just said I wasn't quite sure. Because immediately, yeah, pear, nice, fruity, floral. The thing is, white wine can leave an acrid taste unless it's like sensationally good wine.
No, so I'm not getting an acrid taste.
You're not?
No.
Well, maybe I'm just sensitive and better palate and a better person.
I mean, maybe. I doubt it, but maybe.
We'll agree to disagree. Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. I don't love it, but I'll drink it.
Oh, okay, well, how kind.
Much like wine. Much like most wine that I drink. I mean, it's not a great vintage, but I will now drink 3 bottles of it. Okay, what do you think of it?
I don't mind it. It's
Yeah.
not. It's certainly. I don't think it's fine. Would I make it again? Probably not.
No, it seems
But,
like a waste of good...
But I don't find it particularly unpleasant.
I don't think it's going to wow anyone.
No, it's not a wowy thing. But I think it's nice. But I wouldn't rush to have another one.
No, it's unworthy of the name, I think, of one of the greatest paintings of all time. But it's the sort of thing that you would serve to guests and they would go, ooh, white wine with pear and cherry. And then they go, oh, it's fine. But what was that shit that they served me? When they could have had a daiquiri. Okay, fine. Well, the Starry Night.
Starry Night.
It happened.
It happened. It was
And
a
it
thing
will
that-
be drunk.
Yes, well, exactly.
Well, with it in hand, you can capture the stars in your hand. Is it time for a story, Nick?
It is time for a story.
Okay, yay!
And as I say, a number of people who have guessed what the story is about.
Yeah, it was 2 options that I thought it was.
2 options, and the people who guess say, is it going to be the Zodiac? Is it going to be John Dee?
I mean, both great
Stories. And actually, the 2 people who I was battling between.
Yes.
Up until this morning when I started writing the episode, I was still going, I don't know which one to do.
Because you've been meaning to do these 2 for quite a long time.
Quite some time, indeed.
You have been talking about the Zodiac for a very long time.
Yep.
You've been talking about John Dee for a very long time.
Yep.
Stories that I don't know. Equally excited, equally aroused and excited.
So for this time, for this time, we are going to go with one of the most famous killers in America.
It's the Zodiac. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I can't believe we're doing it.
I can't believe we haven't done it already.
I mean, it's for us modern.
Well, yes,
It is
comparatively so.
As near to the present day as we get in the 1960s.
Late 60s.
Late 60s,
Yeah.
My God,
69,
yeah.
yeah.
We don't really do this that much on the main episode, but occasionally some of the biggest
it is
ones of
quite
all
interesting.
time.
It is an interesting one to do.
And I really don't know that much about.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know a huge amount. So you know the name and you know some of the you've seen some of the pictures and what have you, so
I really haven't.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I've never delved into it. I've not seen the film yet. It's sitting on the shelf. I know everyone goes see that because Dave Fincher, who I love, but that's the one I haven't seen. I think I've basically not watched everything, or looked at anything, going one day I will, and then it will consume me. So go ahead.
Yeah. So this is a figure who has laid claim to 37 murders across California in the late 1960s. Jeez. And who taunted the press with cryptic notes and ciphers and codes, and who does indeed remain completely unknown to this day. It is thought that the Zodiac killer first struck on the 20th of December 1968.
Woo.
Now, high school students, so we have 16-year-old Betty Lou Jensen and 17-year-old David Arthur Faraday. Now, they were out on a date. They had been to see various friends throughout the evening, and they had left them around about 9 p.m. and driven out to a nice little secluded spot on where was known as a bit of a lover's lane, just off Henman Lake Road outside Benicia, which is around 40 miles sort of northeast of San Francisco.
What a lovely romantic date. I'm just going to drive down this dark alley.
This dark gravel track. It's a lovely, lovely place.
Things will happen. Sweaters will be unbuttoned.
Sweaters will be unbuttoned. And I'm going to apologise for my pronunciation of names and things, because I'm probably going to butcher many, many names of places. Now, later appeals for information uncovered that several people had actually driven past Arthur's station wagon that evening, and they remembered seeing the two young folk inside, alive as well, chatting away and having a lovely time.
Which was it, chatting away or having a lovely time?
Well, we don't.
Bless them.
Yes. So, I mean, lots and lots of people drove past, saw them having rampant sex in the back of the station wagon.
People driving back and forth, like, we saw them several times. We were lost.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The last confirmed sighting of them alive and well was at around 11 o'clock that evening.
Okay.
The couple were attacked in a tiny, tiny window between 11 and about 10 past 11.
Seriously? Jesus.
Yes, it's a tiny, tiny window. At 10 past 11, another driver passed by and noticed Betty and Arthur's bodies lying in the gravel on the roadway. So it really was an incredibly swift attack. Now, police theorised that the perpetrator had pulled up in their own car around about 10 foot away from where Arthur's station wagon was parked. He had gotten out of his car and approached the couple on the driver's side. As he did so, he raised his gun and fired several shots towards the car. Now, it's thought these shots impacted the car and not the occupants. So it was likely thought that this gunfire was intended to scare the couple and to force them out of the vehicle. To get them out of the car. And it worked. But with both Arthur and Betty scrambling to get outside of the passenger door and away from this gunman. Now, Betty is able to make it out of the car and she starts making a run for it. Arthur, he's not quite so lucky. He doesn't make it all the way out, and he's sort of halfway out of the passenger door when the gunman reaches him and shoots him point blank in the head. He then goes after Betty, who is running. He fires 6 shots at this fleeing figure, 5 of which strike her in the back. He then gets back in his car and leaves.
Okay.
Drives off. Now, this whole thing takes, less than probably 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
Such a blitz attack. And then, if we say, so 10 past 11, a woman is driving past and she sees the 2 figures of these young people lying on the ground amongst sort of growing pools of blood. She quickly speeds away to try and find a local police car with no mobile phones or anything like that. So she's trying to go and alert the authorities.
Yeah, she doesn't want to get out of the car there. Yeah, tragic, but you can understand it.
Yeah, she happens to meet a patrol car not too far away, and the patrol car whizzes to the scene of the crime and is there very, very, very quickly, and they alert the authorities, and soon the whole place is buzzing with police. Betty is pronounced dead there and then. She's got 5 gunshot wounds in her back. Arthur is still alive.
Eesh.
He is still alive. He is rushed to hospital, but unfortunately he does not last long. He gets into hospital, but within hours, unfortunately, he passes away. Unable. He never really regained consciousness, so he's never really able to tell exactly what has happened. Now, at the crime scene, police yes, they can see sort of some tyre tracks and some footprints, but because it is such a sort of popular hangout spot, it's such a muddle and a mess that they're really unable to identify who's doing what or anything like that. So to really try and narrow it down, these are our culprits, shoe prints or whatever. So unfortunately they have very, very little to go on. They have actually incredibly little to go on. They're also at a bit of a loss for motive as well.
Well, it's just a random attack.
Yeah, I mean, they interview many people who know the young couple. Everyone describes them as entirely charming and lovely and quiet, not the types to get into trouble or go to the wrong side of town and mix with the wrong types or anything like that. Just perfectly ordinary, nice students.
Wow.
Yeah, so the only sort of motive that the authorities can come up with is that the killer is just some sort of madman. Just sort of like, it had been an entirely random attack, as you say, just wrong place, wrong time for these poor people. The police carry out an extensive investigation, interviewing everyone they can find in the hopes of generating some sort of lead. And the murders are covered extensively in the media as well. I mean, everyone is crying out for information. But eventually, things just sort of fizzle out. Things go cold. Other things come along and leads get fewer and fewer, and it just doesn't get forgotten about, but it gets certainly down the bottom of the list of priorities.
Tragic, wrong place, wrong time.
Tragic, wrong place, wrong time. Exactly. The Zodiac strikes again 6 months later. This time it's around 11:30 in the evening.
Okay.
This is the night of the 4th of July, and 22-year-old Darlene Ferren leaves her house to go and meet a friend, Michael McGow. She drives to Michael's house, he gets in the car, and from there they set off together. Now, pretty quickly, the pair start to suspect that something's a bit awry. There seems to be someone tailing them quite close, and they sort of look in the driver's or the rearview mirror. They see the sort of a man following them in a light coloured car, but following them quite closely, which is a bit odd. Darlene starts to drive sort of out of town, thinking as soon as we get out of the suburbs, then they'll lose him. He'll go off on his own way and blah 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 blah. But the person sort of sticks behind quite closely.
Okay.
Shortly before midnight, so they've been driving around for sort of half an hour or so, she turns her car into an empty parking lot. The parking lot of Blue Rock Springs Park, which was another sort of hangout for local couples and things, just a place to go of an evening, really. And this is about 2 miles from Lake Herman Road, where Betty and Arthur had been killed sort of 6 months prior. So she parks about 70 foot or so from the main entrance to this car park, and then soon enough another vehicle drives in and parks around sort of 80 foot or so to her left, so not right next door.
Not right next to her,
but
still
close enough for sort of slight discomfort. Now, this sort of this unknown driver turns the headlights off of the car and just sits there in the car.
Well, okay, not uncommon for those sorts of spots.
Yeah,
I guess.
potentially just exactly. Maybe just a chap waiting for something to happen.
Waiting for something to happen.
Waiting for something to happen, indeed. Now, so according to apparently, he just sat there and sort of staring dead ahead, sort of in this car. Now, Darlene was married. She was a married woman.
Yeah.
So, and she was out with a friend, but quite late of an evening in a car in a spot known for. So some people do speculate, like, okay, was it a husband who was following her or some such like that? But it's never really ascertained if that's the case, or if it is just the Zodiac killer. Michael asks if she knows who the driver is, to which she replies, "No, don't worry about it." We're indicating that she may have some idea about who this person.
Well, if she's married, then maybe okay.
So she perhaps has some idea who this person is.
Or she's also like, "Who's that guy? Don't worry, we're here. We've got 5 minutes."
Exactly. Yeah, just don't worry about it. He's just a chap sitting in a car. But then suddenly this car speeds off. 5 to 10 minutes later, the car is back, and this time it parks a lot closer to the passenger side of Darlene's car. The man gets out of the car and he approaches Michael's side in the passenger seat. The man, he shines a flashlight through the car window. So the assumption is that he's a police officer.
Okay, fair enough.
They make the assumption that this is a police officer, probably asking like, "What are you two doing here?" Type of thing, or naughty off or on your way. So they roll down the window, expecting a conversation, as one would potentially, but in the 60s. Perhaps people are less trusting now to do such a thing. So they roll down the window to see what is up. The man does not speak. He raises a gun and fires his pistol into the car. One bullet hits Michael in the right arm. The other hits Darlene in the neck, causing her to sort of just fall forward and slump over the steering wheel. The attacker then walks back to his own car, sort of thinking, job done. But Michael is there, and he is obviously wounded, but he can still see what's going on. And he notices the chap sort of open the driver's side door to the car, and then sort of fertle about with something as if he's getting something from inside the car. But then sort of he then stands back up again, and that is when he notices Michael is still very much conscious and alive, and is trying to get out of the car. There seems to be something wrong with the door handle, but he can't get out of the door. The attacker turns around, goes straight back to the car, and fires 4 more shots into the vehicle. Then turns around, legs it, gets back in the car, and drives off. Now, a few minutes later, 5-10 minutes later, 3 other teenagers drive into the parking lot.
Yeah.
And then they see this car, window down, Michael hanging out, half hanging out of the car, and they see something is obviously horribly wrong, and they alert the authorities. They go and find a phone box, find the police, and the police are on scene sort of like 12 or so. So it's been 20 minutes since the attack. Police are on the scene. Both Michael and Darlene are still alive,
wow,
and are rushed to hospital. Moments later, we're talking 12:40, so 20 minutes after the police are on the scene.
Yeah.
They've been rushed to hospital. The Vallejo Police Department receive a phone call from a public telephone box, which is about 2 blocks from the crime scene. The man on the end of the line states, "I want to report a double murder.
Wow.
If you go 1 mile east on Columbus Parkway to the public park, you will find kids in a brown car. They were shot with a 9mm Luger. I also killed those kids last year. Goodbye."
Oh, it's him.
Apparently so. Apparently this is the killer taking claim
for those 2 attacks.
For those 2. Now, he said these kids last year, but Betty and Arthur were only sort of 6 months or so ago. So was he referring to another attack?
What time of year were they killed?
It was December. Yes, it was last year.
Yeah.
My apologies. Yeah, because it was the end of December, and now we're in June. So 6 months, but yes, it was last year.
Yeah, last year.
So shut up. And actually work out what dates mean.
But he's named the gun and everything, so
yes,
he just
so
confessed
he's
then hung up the phone.
Yeah, so he's given us details of the crime and things. So
you know what? Useful. More criminals should be doing that.
Should be doing that indeed.
In this case, famously, it does not work out.
Yeah. So there's apparently this killer has just phoned up and confessed to committing these murders. Back at the hospital, Darlene's wounds prove too severe, and she is pronounced dead shortly after her arrival at the hospital. But Michael Mayhew, he pulls through. He makes a miraculous recovery, and this is where we get the details of that evening from. So he's able to give this account of what had happened from when Darlene collected him, the experience they had in the car of this chap following them driving off. He gives them all this detail. He goes on to describe the attacker as a white man with a large face, heavy set, around 5'8" tall, weighing 195-200 pounds, short, curly, light brown hair, and a pot belly. He says he's also wearing dark clothes and does not have glasses.
Okay. So pretty much any man.
That unfortunately is the thing. It's
nice that you noticed the pot belly.
Yeah, it's a relatively detailed description, but unfortunately a description that fits most of the men in the area.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Average height, average man.
Yeah, a bit heavy set.
But yeah, I mean, what can you do? I mean, the thing is, you're also terrified.
Well, absolutely.
Unless there is really something distinguishing, you are probably going to just go to, okay, it was a man. It was a man. Ugh.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely terrifying indeed. But unfortunately, it leaves the police with, again, virtually nothing to go on.
Apart from this phone call.
Phone call, indeed. On the 1st of August, 1969, 3 letters, supposedly written by the killer, are received at the Vallejo Times-Herald, the San Francisco Chronicle, and the San Francisco Examiner.
Okay.
Now, the letters are nearly identical for,
Nice.
for each newspaper. And they take credit for the shootings at Lake Herman Road and the Blue Rock Springs. The writer explains that he was killing victims to collect them as his personal slaves in the afterlife. His reasoning behind such murders. The letters are subsequently analysed by a psychiatrist who describes them as having been written by someone you expect to be brooding and isolated.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, I am being paid by the hour right now, so let me give you my verdict. Oh, fuck off.
Yes.
Someone you'd expect to be brooding, really.
This man who you think has killed many people is brooding and isolated.
Isolated
really,
and brooding.
well done, Sherlock.
Wow. Amazing. They say, yes, there's brooding castle in which I live.
Now, each letter also includes 1/3 of a 408 symbol cryptogram. So it's a 408 character code.
Okay.
That the writer has split up into 3, and each paper has a section of it.
Oh, okay.
So it can't be read without all 3 papers put together.
By the way, again, I will reiterate, I know nothing about this case as well. So some people are going, well, yeah, obviously. I'm like, no, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so, and the symbols are made up of, letters, numbers, random symbols, sort of little boxes with coloured things. It's a whole,
so you put them on each paper,
gobbledygook.
And then you get the papers together.
But you've got to have all 3 papers have a different cryptogram.
Okay, love it.
Which is brilliant. So
I mean, boo, but still, that's
now in the letter, the killer claims that this cryptogram contains his identity. If you can solve this, you will find out who I am, and he demands that the code be printed on each paper's front page. He says if you don't, or else he would cruise around all weekend killing lone people in the night, then move on to kill again until I end up with 12 people over the weekend. Which is quite a responsibility for papers to ignore that.
You get a lot of nut jobs, though, writing in saying you must do this, otherwise this will happen, this will happen, this will happen at the time. Yeah.
Now, the San Francisco Chronicle was of that exact frame of mind. They published their part of the cryptogram on page 4.
Still a good page. Well, it's a left-hand page.
It's not what the writer had demanded, and as you say, it's a left-hand page.
Yeah.
The code is also printed alongside an article in which the Vallejo chief of police is quoted as saying, "We're not satisfied that the letter was written by the murderer."
Okay.
And he requests that the writer send in a second letter with more information proving that he is the one responsible.
Yeah, fair.
So, but also potentially, if it is the killer, and the killer has made these demands of, if you don't do this, I'm going to kill a fuckload of people. So it's like, so I suppose they're
don't poke the bear.
They're calling a bluff, really, I suppose, really, aren't they?
Yes,
on that, potentially.
And, it's hard, isn't it? Because you do literally, the police department will have loads of people calling up and saying, yes, I did this and I did this and I did that, and it's all bollocks. So to them, it's like, yeah, sure, fine, prove yourself.
Yeah, and he does.
Oh.
On the 3rd of August, the San Francisco Examiner receives another letter. This one states, "Dear editor, this is the Zodiac speaking." Now, this is the first time the killer refers to himself as the Zodiac.
Nice.
And obviously it sticks for many, many years. The Zodiac responds to the police chief's demand for proof that the letter was written by the murderer, and it includes a raft of details that were never made privy to the public. So it had to be someone who was on the scene and who knew exactly what was going on. They were the only way you would know this information.
Fair.
And the letter ends saying that when the police crack this code, they will have me. And that's probably time for a break.
I think it's time for a drink. I think we need more drinks.
Need more drinks.
Nick, we have our drinks.
We do.
We have our drinks. What the hell's going on?
Yes. Do you have your cipher?
Yeah.
your book of Zodiac puzzles.
Well, this is it. So someone's with the best one in the world. Again, coming into this from someone who doesn't really know the case. Like, the horrible murders of people in cars, just random attacks of couples in cars, and then someone goes, here are my letters, and here's this incredible puzzle.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. I've not seen it. I'm assuming that it is a sophisticated series of kind of, ciphers and stuff like that in there, rather than just a drawing, just a scribble. And
let me see. You need to see.
All right. Well,
okay, you Google it.
Okay, so I'm Googling.
Zodiac
what am I
first
doing?
letter or something.
Right. Let's have a look. Oh, good lord. Right. Yes. Yeah. That's more than just a tree and an apple.
Yeah.
That he drew. Okay. Nice.
So yes.
Well, you can understand how it sort of sparks this attention, as in, like, the killer is clearly looking for attention. I am going to write to 3 different newspapers, putting this cipher together, puzzle master extraordinaire here, and then you have to put this together and then find it, but it must be on the front page.
Yeah.
It can't just be hidden.
Can't be hidden away.
It can't be
front
hidden.
and centre.
Yeah, so
I need to be
I'm
in charge.
dramatic.
I'm
clearly.
very, very much so.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
much
yeah.
so.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So now, the FBI and the CIA put people on this to try and crack this cipher, to try and decode this message.
Mm-hmm.
However, they are beaten to the punch by Donald and Betty Harden.
Nice. Nice.
Dear old Donald and Betty.
Who are they?
They're a random couple who read the paper and who like puzzles.
Do they love puzzles? Do they love... Oh, my God.
Yeah, it takes them 3 days. On the 5th of December, their solution to this cryptogram is revealed.
Oh, my God.
So it hasn't taken them yet. Remember, it's taken them a couple of days to work this out and then write into the newspaper.
But you've got to have that kind of brain, haven't you? You've
Exactly.
got to be like
You-
with the lateral thinking,
Yeah.
with that kind of puzzle
Takes
solving
a special way of looking at things together.
Yeah.
But obviously they have this and they've solved it before the fucking CIA.
Absolutely.
Before the best intelligence agents in the world.
If the new BBC series Ludwig has taught us nothing. So this little old couple.
I don't know.
They are a couple.
They're Donald and Betty.
Their lover's gone out of their marriage. All they have is puzzles.
All they have is puzzles.
All they have is puzzles to keep them together. And this was the last thing. Either that or they had to have sex.
Now, this decoded message reads, "I like killing people because it is so much fun.
What?
It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal of all to kill. Something gives me the most thrilling experience. It is even better than getting your rocks off with a girl. The best part of it is that when I die, I will be reborn in paradise, and all that I have killed will become my slaves. I will not give you my name because you will try to slow down or stop my collection of slaves for my afterlife."
Jesus.
Curious message.
Wow.
And then there is a string of 18 characters
Right.
after that, 18 letters, that no one knows what the hell they're about.
Right.
It's just gobbledygook. EBEORIETEMETHHPITI.
Walla Walla Bing Bang.
Yes.
Yeah.
No one has ever figured out what that means. Now,
I reckon I could.
you probably could.
Give me another glass of wine, I'll get it.
I'll give you 10 minutes, you'll be fine. Now, this when it's decoded...
But he said that his name would be in there.
He did indeed.
But
Now,
did they look at the puzzle within the puzzle?
well, exactly, is the puzzle within the puzzle within the puzzle.
Yeah, exactly. Have they taken the first letter, the first letter or the last letter of each line? I'm thinking he's more sophisticated than this, he or she.
Potentially.
Or the seventh letter.
The 7th letter.
I mean, it's not that, is it? Okay, fine.
I mean, when the message is decoded, the spelling is very questionable.
See,
When it's translated into English, like animal is spent ANAMAL.
Is that deliberate?
Anamal.
Is that deliberate?
Well, this is the thing. So people think, so there's a number of different thoughts. It has been decoded incorrectly, which also potentially accounts for this sort of string of letters at the end, which means
these were just letters left over.
Yes,
We had a lot of
exactly.
letters we didn't use.
So is the translation just wrong? Though it seems to make
Very weird if it
more
wasn't.
sense than not.
But deliberately
sort of thing.
misspelt.
Other people think, yes, is it deliberately misspelt?
Yeah.
Other people think, okay, well, this is just potentially of a person, a not very well educated person.
Yes.
But they are setting incredibly complicated puzzles.
Doesn't mean that you can spell, but
So-
you
but
can
doesn't
also
mean you
have
spell.
that heightened level of intelligence.
Also, the other thought I think is this is someone with English as not as a first language.
Interesting.
So those are sort of the options, really. So
It'd be a bit weird if you were to like say, I'm going to give very specific ciphers knowing that English is not my strongest
well, if
point.
you're doing it in America, you're not going to do it in French. no one can speak, or very, very few people speak.
I think
And
you
then, like,
absolutely would. I
You
think
think?
you would. I think if you were a killer trying to sort of make some mystery of your identity, you'd give them that extra hurdle to jump over. I don't think you'd go, I'm French. Let me make it easier by translating it into English badly.
I don't-
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
giving
know.
that's giving the killer credit, isn't it? Going, I'll do it in English, knowing that this will be broken, unless the person was intentionally trying to do something that was deliberately.
Is it deliberately
that
misleading?
would be deliberately
or-
misleading. But like, if you were going to go, it'd be too difficult for them to solve if I do it in French. Just do it in French.
But you
Just do
don't-
it in French.
Obviously, the person wants it to be solved.
So do it in French. It gives them an extra hurdle, but still,
Do we think Donald and Betty spoke French? There's less people who are going to solve it.
maybe French and American are very similar and no one actually knew about it. Maybe the person who was French wasn't really French as he thought he was.
Maybe not French. Maybe some from somewhere else.
Exactly. Maybe he thought he was French and he's just been speaking in a French accent the entire time.
I think I may put too much emphasis on the French. Think of anywhere else in the world.
It's like, if English is not your first language, you would write it in your first language. You would go, well, fuck you. So, like, learn my language and then solve it. That would be it.
I don't know. If you wanted to be famous, if you want to get your name out, obviously you want people to recognise you because you're writing this into the paper.
Again, no.
So you don't want to make it too difficult because then people won't figure it out.
Again, that's a step that no one would take. That is an extra step. I want to be really famous, so I'm going to translate it into this language badly,
But
that
they
no
don't
one
know
can
it's
spell.
badly.
But then it's been translated badly. The logic behind that is animal. English isn't their first language. Well, then how would they know what the spelling is? That's a second, third hand thing. It's not someone whose English isn't the first language. Because that is taking a lot of liberties into each step, I think. that is making assumptions.
Sinead has thoughts on the matter.
It's just the level of which how much that could be messed up that's impossible. Someone else explained it to me, and that's true, but I'm just thinking that someone went, I'm just going to misspell that on purpose.
Maybe.
Or they are deliberately just going 2 fingers up.
Maybe.
And they put the collection of letters at the bottom just to go, ha-ha,
Just
they'll
go,
never
ha,
solve
ha,
that.
ha, ha. Just confuse people even more.
Ha-ha. Oh, sorry, ho-he-ho-he-ho, according to
Well,
you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Zodiac is French. Everyone knows that.
Calling like a mwahahaha le French. It's the person from fucking Minnesota
La
who's just going, yeah, that's what the French say. Everyone in France is furious right now.
It's because they're all killers. Writing codes everywhere.
Writing codes that a little old couple are trying to translate from not French. From American not French.
I think we've got off track now.
We
Okay?
have, because that's a shit theory. Anyway,
Moving on.
moving on. Okay. Oh, God. More killings.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So
Not yet.
close.
No, so close. Oh, I don't want any more.
But okay.
Okay.
September the 27th. Mm-hmm. 2 college students, Pacific Union College in San Francisco, Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard. They are having a delightful picnic on a small island in Lake Berryessa.
Okay.
It's a delightful little place.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay,
not really an
fair.
island. It's sort of connected by like a thin spit of land.
Peninsula.
Peninsula.
Yes.
Yeah, very small.
I don't know
They're
if that
having
is
a
a
lovely
peninsula.
day. They're having a lovely old day. Having their picnic.
Have the sandwiches.
Having their sandwiches, indeed. When a figure approaches them
Ew.
across this little spit of land, he's about 5'11" or so, and he's wearing a black executioner's style
What?
hood with clip-on sunglasses over the front
To cover the eyes.
to cover the eyes.
Also, so executioner, but make it fashion.
Exactly, make it stylish. It's bright outside. So
It is. That is scary and weird.
scary and weird.
But scary.
But
still.
I think mainly scary. He's
Yeah, you
also
wouldn't be
wearing
happy.
like a bib-like apron on his chest, which has got a symbol on it.
Okay.
And it is a white circle with a cross through it,
Okay.
which you may well again seen has become quite notoriously related with the Zodiac.
Yeah.
It always looks like a gun sight
Yes.
type symbol.
The target.
Now this hooded figure approaches and draws a gun and points at these 2 young young people. He quite calmly states that he is an escaped convict and that he had killed a guard and stolen a car, and that he needs their car and their money to escape to Mexico.
Give the man those.
Give the
things.
man the money and the car.
Also, your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Yes. The man then produces lengths of plastic clothesline cord and hands them to Cecilia and tells her to tie up Brian, but wrists behind the back. She does as instructed, as you would with a gun in your face, potentially. The hooded figure then binds her hands behind her back. He goes to check, and he notices that Brian's bindings are not that tight, so Cecilia's done a bit of a half-assed job.
As you probably
as you most certainly would do, saying, "Fucking hell, run!" But unfortunately, this figure notices this and spares no time in, securing.
But you would, because you don't want to
pair.
waste time tying someone else up when they're not guarded. Yeah.
He then draws a knife.
No. Oh.
And stabs them both repeatedly.
Oh.
Brian suffers 6 wounds and Cecilia 10 in this assault. Then the two young people, again, lying in the sand, still alive. The attacker calmly walks towards where Brian has parked his car, up or just over on the shore. He draws his circle cross symbol on the door in black marker pen, and writes beneath it Vallejo, then 12/20/68, which is the date of the first murder, 7/4/69, again the date of the second in the car park, and then September 27/69, that date, 6:30, by knife.
Wow.
All written on the door of Brian's car.
Oof.
Brian and Cecilia have been left for dead, bleeding on this little island. But their screams had fortunately been heard by a man and his son who were out fishing in a little cove nearby, and they had heard this commotion, and they raced to try and find out where this noise is coming from, and they discover the 2 students and are able to summon help from park rangers, who in turn summon the police and medics to the site. Deputies Dave Collins and Ray Land were the first to arrive at the crime scene, and they find Cecilia Shepherd still conscious, and she is able to give the deputies the account of what has happened, and a description of their attacker.
Yeah, terrifying.
Both Cecilia and Brian Hartnell are taken to the Queen of the Valley Hospital in Napa.
Yeah.
Cecilia falls into a coma during the transport, and she never regains consciousness. Jesus. She dies in the hospital 2 days later. Brian Hartnell, he pulls through. He survives, and he is again able to give his statement about what had happened to him and Cecilia. At 7:40 that evening, on the evening of the attacks, the killer calls the Napa County Sheriff's Department from a payphone at a car wash in downtown Napa. The caller tells the operator that he wished to report a double murder, before saying that he had committed the crime on the island. The killer had travelled over 27 miles from the site of the attack to this particular payphone box in Napa. And it seems as if the killer had chosen it specifically because it was about 1 block away from the sheriff's office. It was probably like the closest public phone to the sheriff's department that he had called from. And they were instantly able to identify that is where he was calling from. So they had people there within minutes, really, and they are able to lift a still sweaty palm print off the receiver of the phone, and unfortunately they have never been able to match it to any suspect, but the person who made the call was long gone.
God, that's a frisson of excitement on the sorry if that's the right word, but on the killer's part of just, I want to be that close to the police and run away from you. Wow.
I mean, that is a taunt if there ever
that
was
is a
one.
Taunt.
I'm standing outside your building.
Yeah, I'm here. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. And you have no idea who I am.
Jesus.
Around 2 weeks later. So we're now in the beginning of October, the 11th of October. It's around 9:40 in the evening, and a man jumps into a taxi cab, a cab driven by a chap, Paul Stein, in downtown San Francisco. The passenger asked to be taken to Washington and Maple Streets in the Presidio Heights area, and off they go. Normal fare as ever. When they arrive, the man asks to be driven on 1 block further to the intersection of Washington and Cherry Streets. Paul drives the extra block and pulls up at the side of the road to let his fare out. The man gets out of the car and he moves round to the driver's side window to pay his fare. He produces a gun. He shoots Paul Stein in the head.
Oy.
This whole incident is witnessed by 3 teenagers across the street.
Yeah.
Who are just there hanging out, having a nice time. And they straight away go, fucking hell, and, and report the attack to the San Francisco police. They also report that they see the man lean into the car and seemingly like go through Paul's pockets and his clothing and come out with what looks like a wallet and his car keys. From there, they also watch him take a cloth and sort of wipe down door handles, steering wheel, presumably to destroy any fingerprints or anything that he's
residual evidence
he's left in the cab. The man is described as a husky white man wearing a dark or black jacket.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the dispatcher that evening mistakenly broadcasts for the police that the suspect is a husky black man.
Oh, Jesus.
So
horror ensues.
Horror ensues indeed. Now, officers quickly arrive on the scene and they notice a white man in dark clothes walk away from the area. But they're looking for a black man. A black man has done this. They do approach this white chap and say, "Have you seen anything suspicious this evening? What's going on?" And this man replies that he has seen a man waving a gun earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
Who had walked east down Washington Street. Officer, oh, thank you very much. That's some great information.
Yeah.
And off they go, believing that this gun-wielding loon is the man they're looking for. But have they just let the Zodiac
Have they just let him walk away?
Now, initially, Paul Stein's murder is believed to have been robbery. It's just a carjacking or a robbery that has escalated quite severely.
I mean, it does seem like that.
So going through wallets and keys and just taking stuff. But on the 13th of October, so 2 days later, all that is dismissed when the San Francisco Chronicle receive a new letter from the Zodiac claiming credit for the murder of Paul Stein. It contains a torn section of Paul's shirt.
Right, evidence.
So evidence that he was the one responsible. So yes, should anyone dare still doubt the authenticity of the person who was writing these clothes, there you go. It's a bit of his shirt that I took just after I killed him. The letter also includes a threat to blow up a school bus.
Jesus.
Which causes chaos for weeks, as it is ordered that every school bus must be searched and escorted by members of the San Francisco Police Department. Fortunately, no school buses explode for this. Officers who had initially responded now realised that they had likely seen the Zodiac killer and let him walk away. And those officers, alongside the teenagers who witnessed Paul's murder, they sort of helped make a composite sketch.
Yes,
which again you can see out there.
Yeah, the sketches
and it is distributed across the entire country. Yeah. Really look out for this man. Paul Stein's murder was the last case that was officially confirmed to be the work of the Zodiac killer, though he claimed many, many, many more. At 2 a.m. on the 22nd of October, someone claiming to be the Zodiac killer called the Oakland Police Department, demanding that one of 2 particular prominent lawyers in the city, either an F. Lee Bailey or a Melvin Belly, appear on the morning talk show program, AM San Francisco. Now Bailey's not available for whatever reason, but Melvin Belly, he agrees, yeah, okay, if you need my help, I shall do it. There's been the demand by the Zodiac to be on there. Now, the host of the show is like, are we going to get a serial killer calling in to talk to this lawyer? And everyone is expecting that, they're going to get a call from the Zodiac. So he's sort of imploring people don't to not call in that morning.
No, don't. Yeah.
We don't want to know what your traffic's like or whatever.
Yeah,
just,
exactly.
Just keep the lines
Someone
clear.
calls in, you're on the line with the lawyer. Go, yes, yeah, groceries aren't the same price, and I don't like it. It's like,
Exactly.
no!
Go away. None of this. And indeed, someone claiming to be the Zodiac Killer calls into the morning show. And to speak with the lawyer live on air. Now, during
I mean, like, there's no way they would turn that down. They were like,
Absolutely.
no, it could be anyone else. Definitely film
film
this.
this. This is going out live.
Yeah.
Now, during this call, Melvin asked the caller for his name, saying, well, I can't keep on calling you Mr. Zodiac or the Zodiac, so
Well, you can.
can I call you, is there a name I can call you? And the caller settles on Sam. Call me Sam, he says. Now, Sam says he will not reveal his true identity, as he is afraid of being sent to the gas chamber, which was the method of execution in California at the time.
Yes.
Which one should be fearful of, I fear.
Yes. It's a rational fear.
Yes. So
Especially if you're murdering people.
Yeah, indeed. So Melvin, says fine. He doesn't manage to get the true identity of the Zodiac out, but he does manage to get Sam to agree to meet in person.
Okay.
Sam says, yes, okay, we'll meet in person. An off-air rendezvous. And it is set for outside a shop on Mission Street. We will meet there. Sam, the Zodiac, never keeps the appointment, unsurprisingly. Never rocks up. And eventually the police trace the call back to a man who had recently been released from a psychiatric institution, who they concluded was very much unlikely to be the real Zodiac, but who wanted his 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
After the murder of Paul Steins, the Zodiac continues to taunt the police and the press and the public for years and years and years, writing letters containing mysterious codes and ciphers, claiming responsibility for so many other unsolved murders throughout California. Murders which all remain unsolved today. But those are stories for the next part of our delve into the Zodiac Killer, where we will review more cases that may well be work of the famed serial killer. We will take a look at some more fiendish codes, some more ciphers that he sent in, and finally delve into a very, very murky suspect pool about who could indeed have been one of the most famous killers of all time.
Da, da, da.
That's for part 2.
That's a part 2. It's a 2-parter, people. Oh my. We couldn't possibly do the Zodiac Killer
It's a lot
in
to get
one
in one.
episode.
It's a lot to get in one.
I did ask you, I said, can you do this in one? And you were crying, going,
Yes.
no. It is a 2-parter that we have, so we can delve into it more. That alone, though, even if you left it there, Nick, that's still a great episode. That's still a great story.
There's still a lot going on there.
It's a curious, obviously, one. So yeah, looking briefly at the MO. Is there one for the Zodiac Killer?
Is there?
So the point about all of these cases is that they've been linked to the Zodiac Killer because there's... What about the first one? Why is everyone so sure that that's the Zodiac Killer?
Because I think at the beginning because he claimed it later in the letters. I think that's probably about it. Whereas the other ones he drew. Well, even so, you could say someone drew the symbol on the car door and things.
Sigil or something.
But because it was claimed.
So you have this
by
person ringing up and claiming the murders, more so than anyone else.
Yeah.
All
And
the unsolved murders.
People who knew this person who knew details that weren't privy.
Yeah.
That the public weren't privy to.
Yeah.
So that's why the chief of police said, yeah, all right, send us some more proof.
Yes,
and he did.
right, yeah.
So that's how they've sort of linked those ones definitively. Whereas the many, many others that we'll explore later are a bit more circumstantial or a bit more, unsure. So certainly he claimed many more with this figure. But we'll go into have a look into those.
I mean, those murders, you've got different MOs in there.
Indeed.
You do have different MOs. So you've got death by gun, but death by knife as well.
Death by knife, yes.
And very different appearances, different times of day, but still targeting young people but still trying to link those together.
Yeah, different victim profile. You've got young people. You've got an old cab driver. And,
someone who is consistently very brazen and very nonchalant about this. I mean,
Yes.
again, not to the point of not checking that anyone is dead, apart from the second one,
Yeah.
where the guy sort of shows signs of life.
But still,
just
he survives.
he
Still,
does survive. He survives.
Signs of life. Fire more shots.
But it's
into
not
the
a
car.
shot. It's not a shot in the head, is it?
But yeah,
you know,
but then it's still
if you
assuming
want to
that's
kill
damage.
someone, and there's someone who is apparently going this very convoluted, over the top way of going, here I am, I'm the killer, but you must solve me these questions 3,000.
Am I French?
And am I French? Where am I from exactly? People solving the riddles and the puzzles and the paper. What makes it such a compelling case? Absolutely.
And I think that's probably one of the reasons why it has such longevity.
Yes.
Is that interaction and the killer for years sending these things
Yes.
into the public, which I think has just extended the interest in the whole thing.
Absolutely. Sending letters in, links to Jack the Ripper, which we now know are hoaxes, but still, you know, people still swear blind, like, no, Jack the Ripper absolutely, wrote those letters. Like, did he or she? Those phone calls as well. And the thing is, I still was about to go on that train of thought and went, well, the phone call to the lawyer was proven to be someone who it couldn't
Yes.
have possibly been them. But then I was like, but he used the name Sam. And then I was like, so, oh my God, Summer of Sam a few years later. Wait, no, there's no connection there
No
at all
connection
whatsoever.
at all.
But is there, though? Is there? Maybe. Maybe. I think I've heard that somewhere. I don't know. You're like, no.
Maybe.
Thrilling story. Well, what do you think, people? We are going to have a second part on this story, but do you know of the Zodiac Killer? Is it your first time hearing about it? Have you studied this case many, many times and seen all the documentaries and all the films and read all of the things? Do you have theories that you want to weigh in with immediately and theories that you'd like us to explore?
Well, indeed, yeah. Do you have a particular suspect in mind that you think we should look into more? Yeah, so yeah, please let us know. There's lots of things out there.
Is there an interesting train of thought that you've had that you would like us to pick apart, or a theory that is just your theory? Absolutely leave it in the comments. Do you think that this was one person? Do you think it was many? Are there other crimes you think it's linked to? Tell us what you think. Jump on the comments of this episode. Share your thoughts, your feelings, your theories, the trains of thought you want us to continue. But most importantly, while you muse and plan for episode 2, and we have to come up with another cocktail. But in the meantime, have a go at the Starry Night.
Have a drink.
Have a go at the Starry Night.
Yeah.
It's weird.
We drank it.
We drank it. It's wine with dressing.
Wine with fruit.
Wine with fruit, not good fruit.
Pears and cherry.
Pears and cherries, lovely. Put that fresh in there. I'd be all over it. It just was a bit weird. I'm just not convinced by it at all. It's drinkable. It's one that someone is going to serve you at a dinner party and you're supposed to lose your shit about it. Yeah, you're supposed to kind of go, oh my God, amazing, how creative. And you're going to go, bleh. It's fine. Have something else as well.
Just have whatever you fancy. Recipe will be out Friday. And I promise it will this time because I keep on forgetting. So I will do it. I promise I will.
He takes the pictures every single week.
I do. I take the pictures and I write a thing and I just never publish it. So
I send you messages going, have you done the cocktail post? And you go, yeah.
And then apparently I haven't. So it's just like lies. But I will try. I promise.
There'll be a bumper edition of cocktails this weekend.
Yes.
So many to try. And there's some good ones in there too. Please send us pictures of cocktails you're enjoying or cocktail bars you are visiting, and also suggestions of places we could visit or drinks we can mix up. If you can, please consider joining us on patreon.com/The Poisonous Cabinet to support this show and to get a whole load of extra material. And if you love us, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple iTunes, on Spotify. Follow us on YouTube and follow us on TikTok. Those activities really help this show. Thanks for listening, guys. We have been the people inside the Poisonous Cabinet. We will see you next week. And remember, your loved ones are trying to kill you.